Hello, my name is Dr. Jason with Carolina Value Pet Care, and today I want to discuss with you a little bit about cat dewormings. So, I guess the first question is what even type of worms do cats get? It's very similar to dogs. We see things like roundworms, hookworms, tapeworms, heartworms that we'll talk about a little bit more in another video. They work a little bit differently in the body than the other ones we're going to discuss right now. So there's a lot of different ones out there. And then I guess what the next question would be, well, how does my cat even get worms? I got an indoor cat, never goes outside. How is that cat supposed to get worms? Well, interestingly enough, most cats actually get them from their moms when they're first born. So, mom throughout their life might get exposed to some worms. Their own immune system does a good job kind of fighting them off, but sometimes the worms actually lay hidden or kind of dormant in the body where they kind of get shelled off. And then when mom's going through all the stress that you can imagine pregnancy does to the body, your body kind of goes through all that stuff. And then during the time of actual labor and the pregnancy itself, can make those worms actually get released back into the body. So it can get passed directly through the womb into the fetus, or right after they're given birth, can actually get passed within the milk from the mom. So our kittens are actually just born with these worms. That's why when kittens come in, we typically give each kitten when their our first vaccine appointments and stuff too. They'll get some deworming medication that will just give a little kind of squirt in their mouth, making sure we're covering for some of those worms. And what might be some possible signs you might see from your cat if you do have some intestinal worms? At first, you may actually not see much at all. You might just have a couple worms in there when it first gets started, not enough to really cause an issue. But as we get more and more, that's when we see some issues starting to pop up. These worms need nutrition. So actually, they're kind of stealing our own cat's nutrition from their GI tract. So maybe our poor cat just won't be absorbing as much nutrients as normal. So you may see them kind of maybe just a little unthrifty look to their coat. Maybe they're not gaining weight as you would expect them to. Maybe they're losing a little bit of weight. Maybe those worms are actually causing some GI upset. So maybe you might see some vomiting or diarrhea. Telltale sign is sometimes you actually see the worms in their poop. Little tapeworms actually look like little grains of rice in there, and you'll see them in the poop, or even roundworms can look like some big old spaghetti strands in there. So I hate thinking about food and poop in the same sentence, but we can actually see them, and it looks just like spaghetti and rice in there, unfortunately. So what do we need to do to actually deworm these guys? How often should we be deworming them? So like I mentioned with kittens, pretty much when they come in, I'm going to give them a dose, probably repeat that dose in 2 weeks and maybe a month later, making sure I've got the whole life cycle of that worm really taken care of as a kitten. Then as an adult, as part of my preventative care plan, some of these guys may be on a monthly deworming medication. So if they're on a product like Revolution that covers for heartworms, intestinal parasites, fleas, ear mites, there actually is a deworming medication within there that kind of helps every month to making sure it doesn't build up into my body or into their body before it actually causes a problem. So we can either preventatively get these guys out and making sure they never grow up to be adults and be an issue, or unfortunately, the other option would be wait to see until they have a problem. And then once they have a problem, it's going to be a little more, we'll have to give it a couple more dewormings and stuff too at that point. Can these worms actually infect other pets or even people? Unfortunately, they can. It's not very common that it'll infect in person, but they can release these little eggs through their poop. And here we are, the ones kind of cleaning their litter box all the time, right? So, unfortunately, we might get something on our hands. If we don't wash our hands thoroughly enough, we may actually ingest something and could get one of those intestinal parasites ourselves. It's like I said, it's not very common. There's only certain ones that can be infected towards people, but I'd rather not have to worry about that if I didn't have to. If they do get in people, there's some crazy even videos and pictures of it, of kind of little worms in the eye of a person or actually in the skin. Definitely something that creeps me out whenever I see those videos or pictures. So I'd much rather just get these guys under control and not have to worry about that. Other pets, yeah, they certainly can, especially other cats. Very species specific, most of these things. So if it's in their poop, those little eggs are out there. If another cat walks around, maybe they're sniffing at the poop, maybe they get a little bit on their paws and they start grooming themselves, we can see them transmit that way. So get these guys under a good deworming medication as they're young, and then a good plan as they're an adult. For each specific animal, you can ask us these questions. We can come up with an individualized plan for your own cat to making sure we've got them covered. Some people, just because their cat's indoors, think that maybe I don't need to be on a good deworming type of protocol or preventative plan. But think about what happens with indoor cats. Even if they're not going outside, what if a flea hops on me and it's on my ankle? I come in the house. Now we're in the house. That flea jumps on my dog or cat. One flea can lay hundreds and hundreds of eggs in the house. So if I don't have a good preventative on board, I may now have an issue. What if I'm walking outside? Even when you pick up poop from outside or an owner picks up the poop, it can leave little microscopic eggs that we can't see. If that gets on the bottom of my shoe, I bring that inside. Now, my cat's walking around the same area that my feet were. Cats love to groom themselves. Lick, lick, lick. Now it's in their system as well. So indoor cats, I think, should also still be dewormed, just like our outdoor cats would. Yes, the outdoor cats are way more prevalent to get intestinal parasites, but I still worry about my indoor cats as well. So, if you have any other questions, please feel free to discuss this with any of our staff or veterinarians at one of our clinics. You can find our schedule right on our website, www.carolinavaluepetcare.com, and we have a bunch of other informational videos and other client education types of information on our website as well. Thank you. Have a good day.